10 Nation, it is day 38, and I almost forgot that we have our third round of body fat scans coming up this weekend. So I need to put up the Calendly link ASAP, so I will do that. Also, I mentioned about more classes that are coming, and so I am going to run, we're going to start with 2 additional classes. These are going to be Friday at 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. So we're going to start to add in some Friday classes. And just so you guys are all aware, there is a 12 o'clock class. It's not on the calendar. It's sort of a secret class. But there is a 12 p.m. class that happens Monday through Friday. Okay, Monday through Fridays with Martina. It's sometimes at the gym or sometimes just outside the gym. We also have one on Saturdays at 9 a.m. and Sundays at 10 a.m. You need to text her though, okay, to let her know that you're coming. All right, so that, again, it's an outside class if the weather permits. If not, it's in the gym. Monday through Friday at 12 p.m., Saturdays 9 a.m., Sundays 10 a.m., okay? Okay, so there is, I apologize for being behind on these questions. I want to answer this question. I am jumping ahead of some of you here. Somebody wrote me this, and it's a really good question, but, and I understand this because, maybe your friends are curious as to what you're doing, and maybe you're trying to explain them what you're doing, and they're like, we don't understand, and maybe you're having a hard time explaining it. So I'm going to try to make this as simple as possible. Okay, so the question is this. Hey Mark, video content idea. I was thinking about calorie deficit cycles and realized I'm not sure how to explain them correctly. I remember a video a while back about not being able to have deficits forever. But how long can these cycles last for? Okay, I'm gonna stop the question there. The question continues. How long can they last for? Well, this is a really good question. This depends on I guess you could say, the size of the deficit and what you do during that deficit. Okay, but if you want an answer for this, yeah, I'm gonna throw something out here. But again, it really depends on what you're doing. So for example, are you carbohydrate cycling? Okay, what you could do, which you guys probably don't know what that means. There are things that you can do basically to, I'm going to say spike your metabolism, but maybe not what you think. When I say spike your metabolism, I'm talking about things, for example, to keep your thyroid functioning optimally, okay? And so this could involve days where you do spikes of carbohydrates or cheat meals. This person asks about that further on the question. So these are things that could potentially help you. Now when I say cheat meal, okay, I'm talking about these are strategically based. This isn't just I feel like a cheat meal, I'm gonna have it. Okay, and typically when we talk about a cheat meal, it's not like a crazy cheat meal. It's just, upping the calories somewhat, and usually in the form of carbohydrates, specifically speaking. Okay, so, but generally, how long can these last for? Well, again, it depends on the size of the deficit, and it could run probably anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks. Okay. But again, I will admit, this is not something where, it's been tested in a laboratory type setting. This is just based on experience with my clients, okay? Next part of the question, can smaller deficits be kept up for longer periods of time? Well, this is a very good question. This is a really, really good question. My first thought is no, because it's a smaller deficit. So you're going to run through that a little bit quicker because there isn't that much of a deficit, if that makes sense, right? So, but, really the question should be, are you going to get more leverage out of small deficits? Okay, so let me just explain it this way. Let's say you're eating 2,000 calories and you drop, let's say you drop 500 calories, okay? Which is a huge deficit. That's 25% deficit. All right. Would you get more out of doing these small 5% deficits, 5% deficit, 5% deficit, 5% deficit, 5% deficit over time? That's going to equal to 25. Or would you be better off doing 25%? The answer is you would get more out of those 5% deficits. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. Out of doing those little 5% deficits. Okay, because when you take that full 25% right away, you're going to spin your wheels. You're going to lose some leverage. You're going to, like, your body's going to want to close that gap as fast as possible. But when you're doing these small 5% deficits, it's not going to, it's still going to want to close that gap, but it's not going to have that sense of urgency. Okay, remember, your body doesn't want to be in a state where it's losing a lot of its mass, right? It's counter to survival. Okay, can cheat meals play a positive role in body being more receptive to deficits? Yes, I kind of already explained that. Okay, does it go beyond thyroid function? Maybe. Yeah, I'd have to think about it. But the first thing that comes to mind, and probably the most prominent thing, would be, again, that thyroid function, getting the thyroid to work as optimally as possible. Okay, that is one downfall of low carbohydrate diets. Okay, that's it. So the rest of the question says, I find I'm running into, I'll read it because maybe this applies to you guys too. Okay, so maybe you can relate. This person says, I find I'm running into questions when I try to explain my exercise or diet choices right now to other people. Hope it's okay if I post thoughts here before I forget the question. No need to respond in the DMs. Okay, so yeah, I mean, you know, the key is here to make some deficit and get the most out of it. That's the key, okay? But obviously, as you know now, because I answered the question, deficits cannot last forever, right? And then you got to make more of a deficit, and then you got to make more of a deficit if you're trying to lose more body mass. And let's be real. I mean, really, we want to lose. Well, maybe not everybody, but you know, ideally, it should be in your interest to lose body fat, not lean body mass. I don't think anybody has an interest in getting weaker, in lowering their metabolism, and making it harder for them to lose body fat, right? You want that lean body mass, right? You want to be as energy inefficient as possible. Lean body mass is going to do that for you, okay? Okay, that's all I'm going to say because we're at 7.5 minutes. Message of the day. And it goes like this. It's, again, another one of my faves. Action beats anxiety, kind of like we talked about yesterday a little bit. Motion beats meditation. Work beats worry. I mentioned yesterday that for me personally, when I am productive, constructive in my day, I tend to be much happier because I feel like I've accomplished something. And then the more days that go ahead, the more that I feel like I'm accomplishing things, I tend to feel better. And, you know, this may not apply to all of you, but I can guarantee it applies to at least some of you. Okay, that if you get out and you do, and you get out of here and you get more doing stuff, okay, you will feel better. You will feel more productive. You will escape your mind, okay, because some of us tend to, maybe all of us, tend to overthink things, okay? So less thinking, more doing. That's not to say that thinking isn't important, but doing, I think, is probably the thing that people battle more with. Okay, so action beats anxiety, motion beats meditation, and work beats worry. Submit, commit. Keep at this challenge, you guys. You got to keep every day hammering away, hammering away, hammering away, hammering away. Every day is like a brick put on the wall. Before you know it, you've constructed something grand or somewhat grand. 70 days is not that long. Okay, positive energy, positive vibes. As always, believe in yourself and give some gratitude, and I'll talk to you guys all very soon. Hopefully I'll see you tonight in class, 6:15. Maybe I'll see Martina at 7:30. That is all. See you guys.